So we had grim news in the Commonwealth today. We had our first COVID-19 death. An 87-year-old man with underlying health conditions. See this? Pages and pages of notes. So, I already told you I am not just, I'm following both mainstream and non-mainstream. I like to know what my fellow man is thinking. I like to know what's going on, and then I like to analyze things and tell you how I feel, what my perspective is. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know what to think about any of this, okay? But what you can count on me for is that I'm not going to watch something half-assed or barely hear it and give you I take notes. I can't do this every day. I did it today, and my mom joined me the last 6 hours. I rewound stuff. I taped it so I could rewatch part of the stuff. Even reporters sometimes, they ask ridiculous questions, okay? If come on, if we're short, if all over the country people in the front lines, the healthcare workers are saying, we don't have enough masks, we don't have enough protective gear, we don't have this, we don't have that, and people are waiting hours and hours in line, okay? Don't ask the president and all his people, well, shouldn't everybody in the entire country, all 300 and something million of us, get tested? And then we would know that's not possible. I mean, you know what I mean? I wouldn't get it tested if I don't have any, but they're like, well, then we can know who's this, who's that, and get back to, but it's not possible. Don't ask, that's stupid to ask something like that. It's not possible to do that. It's not possible, period. If we're already stretched to capacity regarding testing, remember, the tests have to be taken by healthcare professionals, then it has to be sent off or whatever. There's not enough manpower to test 300. How many of us are in here? That's written down too. How many? Over 300 million, and that's what the reporter said. Shouldn't we get everybody tested? Like, I looked at my mom. I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It is impossible. Even if you thought it was the greatest idea since sliced bread, it is impossible. And it's an irrational thing to ask, okay? Anyway, notes, 6 hours, rewound everything. This is the first day. We're 1 week in, right? It was the national emergency declared last Friday, so we're 1 week in. I took detailed notes. This is what I do, okay? I've done it for other things. When I was in school, this is what I do. So I took notes and more notes and more notes, and if I can read my own writing, I'm sure most of you have heard by now, New York and California are under, I can say this without looking at my notes. My mom went to the mail. I can't do this right, I can only do this quickly, but New York and California, the entire state, both states, they're under lockdown. Not allowed. You don't legally. You can't leave the house except for if it's basically they're under lockdown. Both of those states. And I believe it was the governor of California. Again, I have my notes here. I have so many notes. Basically, because I analyze crap. And when I see one thing, I didn't just watch the president thing for an hour and a half, which wasn't just president still, but I didn't just watch that. I watched what you need to know about the pandemic thing after that. And then I watched my local news after that. And, my Governor Baker is being asked, well, why don't you do, but reporters are asking him, why don't you do what the other ones did? Because one of the governors, I believe, of California was like, everyone, he basically said everyone should be doing this, and he goes back to 1918, and the ones who took stricter measures were kept their people safe while the others, you know, were devastated. All this crap. Okay, so he's basically, I don't know, but I write shit. I write specific things down. This is the first day I've done this to this extent. I've been doing it, but not to this extent. Okay, I also didn't watch 2 days of it, so. But today I did. I happened to wake up. I'm on no sleep, only on a few hours sleep. But I woke up, decided to stay up. Woke up right when it was supposed to be starting at 11:30, and it went a little later. And then I taped everything. Because remember, it's going in place of the regular show, so I just taped everything, whatever it's. I taped all the way up to Ellen, and then I had to. So I will be doing video that once I organize my notes in a concrete manner, but I did want to say that up front. My mom will be back any minute. She just went to go get the mail. I don't have to age restrict this. This is just a quick video. Italy had its most deaths in a 24-hour period ever. 600 and something, I believe. Something like that. Yeah, today I watched that whole thing, but I really, because we're 1 week in and I paid attention, and I have quotes I wrote down carefully, so if you want to know, I'm not going to go, well, I heard this or I didn't know. I took this many pages of notes and watched it for 6 hours today. And I'm going to organize my notes, and then I'm going to do a video that I know won't run out because I'll make sure it's fully charged, the camera and whatnot. Because I have actual statistics. How many millions are already filing for, are going to be all the statistics, all the projections, all the whatever. I wrote it all down. It's tedious. I have to rewind, and I can rewind back an hour, and then I go. I mean, but I also taped it, which means I could go back and see what I missed, and if I was doing something else, like getting food for my mom or Omar or whatever, going to the bathroom or. I don't know, because the fact is, no matter what you believe, that's reality, okay? I'm into, okay? I don't care what you believe, where this virus came from. I don't care if you don't believe there's a virus. I don't care if some people believe it's a wrath of God, or some people believe it's not true. But the repercussions of it is reality that no one can deny, see? So I'm going to steer clear. I won't say, I'm not going to tell you everything that I know that people believe. I'm not even going to tell you what I believe. But reality I can discuss because no one can deny that. That's indisputable. See? And I took pages and pages of notes. So this is reality. And it's a grim reality, for a lot of people. I feel for the people that are losing their jobs and have to go on and don't even know how they're going to survive and have to, I have statistics here, how many people in this week in Pennsylvania and somewhere else filed for unemployment. It's in like the 100,000s. This is reality. This is indisputable. We can bicker all we want about the nature of this, but we can't bicker about indisputable facts, okay? And that is why I felt like it was important to watch this today. It's 1 week in. And my opinion is that it's no way in hell is it ending by next week, in 2 weeks' time. No way in hell, okay? I don't call it taunting, but when a reporter is saying, well, Governor Baker, shouldn't you close down Massachusetts, since the other governors are in California and they're doing it to, and that's, it's not taunting, but it's kind of like, I told my mom, be prepared, okay? Depending on they're giving it Fitbit, depending on the number. At any day we could be the same thing. They go by the numbers, they go by whatever. we just had our first step. New York and California did more drastic measures, probably like Governor Baker says, because